It's time to dive into the buzz about Aquaman 3 possibly being part of Elseworlds. And while we're at it, let's chat about why Willem Dafoe's character Vulko was missing from Aquaman 2. Both the director and Jason Momoa have dropped hints about their interest in a third installment. So, let's spill the tea on everything we know about the movie. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom has stirred up plenty of questions about Aquaman 3, a film with an uncertain future. When watching the DCEU movies in order, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom technically counts as the final entry. It's the last DCEU film before James Gunn's DCU movie and TV slate take over in 2024, rebooting the DC Universe on film. This transition has understandably led to several questions about the future of the DCEU's superheroes. Some characters, like Peacemaker and Amanda Waller, are being carried over into the new universe, while others, like Henry Cavill's Superman, are being recast. This shift has cast a shadow of uncertainty on upcoming DC movies, including the continuation of Jason Momoa's role as Arthur Curry after Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. That said, director James Wan revealed that the movie's ending teases a future return for Momoa's hero in Aquaman 3. The story mentioned that the Jason Momoa story as Aquaman definitely has more places to go. Wan also confirmed that Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom story will culminate in an ending that does tee up something bigger. Here's his full quote. "What I can speak to is the Jason Momoa story, as Aquaman definitely has more places to go. Where we go at the end of this movie, it does tee up something bigger. Or not bigger, but it does tee up a direction for that story, and I don't want to speak to that just because it's the end of the movie." Speaking with Entertainment Weekly, Wan also shared his vision for Aquaman 3, emphasizing that the story should focus on the growth of Aquaman, Mera, Orm, and other characters. He said, "What I like between this one and the first one is, you really do see the growth of Arthur. He starts off as this kind of wanderer, and in the second one he finally has more of a direction of what he wants to do with his life. If and when there is a third one, that's what it should be. It should be growing these characters, because I think we've set up certain things in a good place in the second movie that you can definitely draw upon in a third. I don't have any stories, but growing the characters is the biggest thing that I think the next Aquaman movie should be about." Similarly, star Jason Momoa has expressed his desire to craft an Aquaman 3. In an exclusive interview with Access Hollywood, Momoa shared that he has lots of ideas for a third film and a continuation of Arthur's story. He wrapped up his comments by admitting his willingness to complete an Aquaman trilogy. However, in an Aquaman 2 interview in December 2023, Momoa also notably mentioned, "I don't necessarily want it to be the end, but I don't think it's really like a choice. The truth of it is, I mean, if the audience loves it, then there's a possibility. But right now I'm like, it's not looking too good." This statement suggests that an Aquaman 3 movie is decidedly unlikely now that the sequel has been released to a lackluster reception, especially since DC's clear focus is now on the DC Universe. The main question surrounding the potential of Aquaman 3 is how it could fit in with the DC Universe starting in 2024. As seen with the stories of Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2, both released after The Flash reportedly reset the DC Universe, according to James Gunn, it appears that new DC movies will simply continue within the DCU continuity without much focus on explaining the transition. Characters will just pop up in the DCU, regardless of whether they were part of the DCEU, without any real explanation of how the shift happened. Given the announcement that all Justice League members from the DCEU will be recast, it seems unlikely that Aquaman would be part of the mainline DCU. This leads to the possibility that Aquaman 3 could only happen within the Elseworlds framework. This could explain how a third film, if confirmed, might come to be. The story of Aquaman 2 somewhat sets up a future plot where Arthur reveals the Kingdom of Atlantis to the surface world. This ending holds significant story potential, with a third film likely exploring the budding relationship between the Atlanteans and humans, tied into the admittedly unclear events of The Flash. Another possibility is that Aquaman 3 could be part of Elseworlds. James Gunn has announced that films within the DCU that exist outside the mainline continuity will be labeled as Elseworlds, similar to the Batman and Joker. it's possible that Gunn might want to give a character like Momoa's Aquaman a proper send-off, allowing the actor and potential director James Wan to complete the trilogy that began in 2018. This would enable Momoa's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom to spawn a sequel in a different continuity from the DCEU, allowing Gunn to cast his own Aquaman for the core universe. As for why Willem Dafoe's Vulko wasn't in Aquaman 2, despite his pivotal role in Arthur Curry's journey and the DCEU lore, there are both real-life and in-universe reasons behind his absence. Vulko, who trained Arthur in his Atlantean abilities and was poised to be his chief advisor upon claiming Atlantis' throne, was notably missing from Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Originally, Willem Dafoe's Vulko was set to appear in 2017's Justice League, but his scenes were cut from the theatrical release and later restored in Zack Snyder's Justice League in 2021. His mentorship of Arthur and guidance in claiming the throne from Orm in 2018's Aquaman solidified his importance in Arthur's journey. However, the simple real-life reason for Dafoe's absence in Aquaman 2 boils down to scheduling conflicts. Director James Wan confirmed in an Entertainment Weekly interview that Dafoe was deeply involved in multiple other projects during the filming period of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Between 2021 and the film's release at the end of 2023, Dafoe was credited in over 10 different projects, including major films like The Northman, Asteroid City, and Poor Things. Despite these scheduling changes, Wan used Aquaman 2's storyline to reference Vulko early on, explaining his absence and setting up a continuation of Arthur's journey with guidance from his mother, Atlanna, portrayed by Nicole Kidman, who steps in as Arthur's advisor in the sequel. During one of Aquaman's initial council meetings in the DCEU sequel, it's revealed that Vulko met an off-screen demise due to a devastating plague caused by humanity's pollution of the oceans. This tragic revelation sheds light on why the leaders of the Seven Kingdoms were reluctant to forge peace with the surface world. Despite his untimely passing, Vulko's belief in Arthur's potential to unite land and sea proves prophetic by the end of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And that wraps up today's discussion. Thanks for diving into the details with me. What are your thoughts on Vulko's absence in Aquaman 2 and Arthur's evolution as a leader in the DCEU? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to share your ideas for future video topics. We'll see you next time.